Hi, my name is James, and in one holiday I built a fully automatic Nerf turret. This project was done recreationally. I was inspired by a video I saw on YouTube. I have always enjoyed Nerf guns. I have lots of them, and just recently got into coding in Arduinos. I don't know a great deal about that genre of electronics, but I can proudly say that after completing this project, I know a lot more. The aim of this was to build the coolest Nerf gun my friends had ever seen, with the added bonus being that my sisters wouldn't dare enter my room. The first step was to convince my parents that this was a good idea. Telling your parents you want to build a fully automatic machine gun isn't like the easiest thing to do, but after convincing them it would provide me with educational content, they agreed. The turret is built up of two main parts: the top segment and the bottom segment. The bottom segment's main purpose is to be a shell for all the electronics, and also provides a turn axis. It holds a servo that turns horizontal movement. The upper segment sits on a bearing race, allowing it to swivel freely. This is how horizontal movement is implemented. The upper segment sides enable the tilt axis. Vertical pivoting is done by using a dowel through a bearing on one side, through the gun, and attached to the vertical servo on the other. I needed a lot of equipment for this to work, so I got planning and busy draining my savings on servos and bearings bought online. The servos are quite powerful, capable of moving 13 kilograms each. I already had the Vulcan cannon necessary for this, but I went and bought another one on Gumtree because I still wanted to use the original normally. I convinced Dad to drive me down to Bunnings, where we bought some plywood and then breadboards and electronics from J-Car. The code for all of this was supplied by the user BritLiv on the website Instructables. For all of this to work, I needed to, first, upload the code to the Arduino, which needed to be tweaked depending on a bunch of specifications for whatever type of project you're going for. To upload the sketch to the Arduino Uno, I used the Arduino program running in Windows 7 connected using USB. Then, on my control laptop, I installed 32-bit version of the program PSG processing. The laptop I used is an older one and it's running Windows 7. Then, I installed the open source Sentry gun code that does tracking and all of the controlling. This code runs the sketches inside PSG processing. The code is available on GitHub and has been used by the Australian Navy for training. It takes the input from the laptop webcam and tracks movements by looking for differences in frames. The Sentry gun turret code includes a great user interface to see the webcam aiming point and controls and changes them. The Arduino is connected to the laptop with a USB cable for the commands from the Sentry turret code. The Arduino takes power from this USB cable and receives the simple X and Y and firing commands and passes them on. The Arduino sends commands to the two servos and the firing motor through the breadboard, which has a 6-volt battery pack connected to power the servos. Each servo is connected to the Arduino with a 6-volt positive and negative wire, and the control wire. The trigger circuit wires are soldered directly to the Nerf trigger motor, which allows the machine gun to fire on auto belt-fed bullets. The 1K resistor breadboard trigger circuit protects the Arduino from electric shorts, and the diode prevents stray electricity sparks. The transistor controls the on-off switch to the different power levels in the Nerf gun, because the trigger motor uses 9.6 volt Nerf gun battery packs to power it. The battery pack has 6 heavy D-cell batteries and also controls the firing rate. If we added more voltage, the firing rate would increase. I built the turret over 4 days, and finally it was completed. Cutting the plywood was hard. Dad helped, and we had to buy a new frat saw to do the circle cuts. The gun can be controlled in multiple different modes. Using arrow keys or a crosshair you control with a mouse, or autonomously, where the movements in the video feed are translated to X and Y movements. It works! Never again shall my sisters enter my room uninvited. Never again will I have to bother with aiming with my hands. How primitive. And that was that. That was how I built my fully automatic Nerf turret. If you want the references, they are in the description. Thanks for watching.